Federal agents search a Monticello cheese plant. I'm Kyle Pazorski with the details coming up.
And we've had some showers across much of southern Wisconsin. More shower chances are on the way with an increased chance on Friday. I'll just show you using Future Track in a few minutes.
It's time for report cards. I'm Eliel Liberté with how the state is looking to change the way it scores schools and districts.
And it's all coming up on News 3 Now at 6. Good evening, I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson.
This morning, the Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, was on site at a Monticello cheese plant to execute a federal search warrant.
The details are still hazy at best. We start with our Kyle Pazorski, who's digging into why the agents were on site.
Wednesday morning, agents from the EPA arrive into Sabrosura Foods, a Monticello cheese plant formerly doing business as Wisconsin Cheese Group. The Northside factory looms large over East Coates Avenue. Over the course of several hours, federal agents could be seen going in and out of the facility, at some points carrying multiple large coolers and closely looking over the grounds. Special Agent Allison Landsman with the EPA relaying some calming information Wednesday afternoon to village residents.
We don't think that there's an imminent harm.
But providing very limited information about why they were present.
We can't get into any of the details of the allegations. I can't really provide much detail on that. We're gathering information, and we would not want to jump to any conclusions about where this may or may not lead.
While much couldn't be shared due to a now ongoing investigation, Special Agent Landsman saying there is reason to believe an environmental crime took place here.
There are allegations of environmental crimes, and in order to execute a federal search warrant, you have to have probable cause to believe that an environmental crime was committed.
Landsman further saying no one was taken into custody during the course of the EPA's operation, further calming some limited speculation about a possible ICE raid.
I can unequivocally say that this is not tied to an ICE investigation or Homeland Security investigation. We have no ICE or HSI agents out here.
The special agent did further tell me that to her knowledge, there have been limited disruptions to the normal flow of manufacturing at this plant. In Monticello, Kyle Pazorski, News 3 Now.
Madison police are still looking for a missing man last seen Thursday at Meriter Hospital. According to a family member, Vince Hildestad was discharged from the hospital's emergency department about 1 a.m. but was not picked up from the hospital. According to Madison police, Hildestad does not have a cell phone with him, nor does he have any access to a vehicle. He also suffers from Parkinson's disease, and it's currently unknown if he has his medication with him. You're asked to call 911 or the Madison Police Department if you see him.
And now to an update on the 6-year-old boy who shot himself at Harmony Apartments. A Madison man is now being charged in this incident. Zahiri Powell is charged with felony neglecting a child. According to police, the 6-year-old found a gun in the living room and accidentally shot himself in the head. The child is currently in critical condition. The gun was legally owned by Powell, who was watching the children at the time. His bond has been set at $7,000.
And a Madison man charged in a 2022 shooting that injured 2 teens pleaded guilty today to 2 counts of armed robbery. Avion Vaccaro pleaded to those counts as party to a crime in exchange for the 2 attempted homicide charges being dropped. It was August of 2022 when Madison police arrested Vaccaro and Jamari Mundy after a shooting outside of McDonald's on Dryden Drive. That's on the city's northeast side. That shooting injured a 16-year-old and also an 18-year-old. Mundy pled guilty in 2023 to attempted murder and is serving a 12-year sentence. Vaccaro's sentence date is August 1st.
The trial of Maxwell Anderson is in full swing. The 34-year-old Milwaukee man is charged with killing 19-year-old Sade Robinson. Yesterday, 12 jurors and 3 alternates were selected, made up of 12 women and 3 men. Today, they heard opening statements. Now, the state pointed to what they call overwhelming evidence, including videos and phone tracking data they say proves Anderson killed Robinson last April. The defense, on the other hand, repeatedly discussed the concept of reasonable doubt.
Maxwell Anderson attempted to make her disappear from this world by discarding her body into body parts into Lake Michigan, and then taking her car and burning it behind an abandoned building.
They didn't find any of Sade's blood with all the samples they took throughout that entire house.
This trial is expected to last about 2 weeks, and jurors are not sequestered. The Meriter nurses' strike enters day 2, and more state Democrats have joined the nurses' cause.
Well, another press conference was held this afternoon. Our Jalen Banks was there and joins us with what was said and also has the hospital's response.
The standoff between the union representing the nurses of Meriter and the hospital continues as they enter day 2 of the strike. Day 2 of the strike resembled the first day as more top state Democrats came out supporting the striking nurses. Nurses say the hospital's latest offer doesn't address their concerns about staffing, safety, and burnout.
We want safety that respects you and the patients. And for a corporation to decide that that profit is more important than sitting down and having a conversation, well, that's a real problem.
The hospital released an updated statement today in response to the ongoing strike, saying, "Our negotiation team will participate in a bargaining session with SEIU Wisconsin tomorrow, May 29th, with the assistance of a mediator." The statement continues, "We have a strong desire to reach a fair and mutually beneficial agreement that supports our nurses and upholds our mission to deliver exceptional care to our community." For now, reporting in Madison, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
And Jalen, thank you. We'll continue to keep you updated both on air and also on our website, channel3000.com, as this strike continues. Well, we turn now to weather. More chances for rain throughout the evening. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington now with your certified most accurate forecast. Alex?
Eric, yes, a lot of areas in southern Wisconsin, so at least a little bit of rain today. Not heavy rainfall. We were saying light, maybe moderate at times. A lot of those showers now have pushed up Highway 151 up towards the Fond du Lac area. But if we zoom on out just a little bit here across the rest of southern Wisconsin, most of those showers have exited the area, but we can't rule out a couple more showers up towards Camp Douglas, up towards the Dells, and as we put future track into motion, a couple more of those showers, as you were saying, Eric. The chance is there at least overnight, along with building in some patchy fog. When you've got the light winds, the moisture near the surface, that's that recipe for a little bit of fog. 50s across much of the area right now, although a sprinkling of 61s in southwest Wisconsin. Here in Dane County, let me see if I can find a 60. I can't find one. We're all 57 to 58 to 59 degrees. It's a bit on the chilly side, but overnight again, the showers are dwindling. Temperatures will get down to a low of about 52 with some patchy fog in the forecast. I just bumped up Friday's chance of showers into that stray, and we may even have to push that up into the scattered category. More on a backdoor cold front, what that is, and those storm chances for Friday afternoon in a little bit.
All right, Alex, thank you. Well, if you have school-age children, you may be getting ready for their report cards, but it's not only the kids who get one.
That's right. Every year, the Department of Public Instruction scores Wisconsin public schools and districts. However, as our Ellie LaLiberte shows us, that process could soon be changing.
Every year, schools and districts in Wisconsin get scored on a couple of different factors: achievement, growth, target group outcomes, and if students are on track to graduate. But the office that oversees public education in Wisconsin says the way this is done needs to be revamped.
We really need to ensure that these report cards reflect what is really happening, and it's based on today's measures and expectations and not yesterday's.
That's why the Department of Public Instruction is putting together a panel of more than 24 education leaders. They'll provide recommendations to potentially change the way report cards for schools and districts are put together.
Teachers understand deeply when policies are changed, how that's going to shake out in the classroom.
Peggy Wertz-Olson, a teacher and president of the Wisconsin Education Association Council, knows the role these report cards play in schools.
I'm always interested in the report card really measuring what people want to know about their schools and their communities.
And since the start of the report cards around 2011, Wisconsin schools have changed. Some of the key updates include a greater emphasis on growth for schools that serve more low-income students and changing the methodology for academic growth.
So you're in 2025 using a GPS system that is outdated from 2015, let's say. The roads have changed, traffic patterns are different. If we don't update the system, we might get lost or take the wrong path.
Now, this review comes on the heels of a controversial move the agency made last summer to revise the benchmark for standardized testing. Reporting in Madison, Ellie LaLiberte, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Ellie. And this panel is expected to meet in June and August. DPI says recommendations will be implemented by the time the 2024-25 school year report cards come out in November. And coming up next on News 3 Now at 6, why the Coast Guard is asking people to be cautious around Lake Michigan.
Plus, a big break in the battle to treat Alzheimer's disease, how UW Health and the University of Wisconsin have played a key role. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
A newly approved test will offer a less invasive way to screen for Alzheimer's. The FDA approved the first ever blood test to aid in the diagnosis of the disease. UW Health and UW School of Medicine and Public Health played a key role in getting the test approved, contributing to 40% of the data the FDA used for approval. One doctor we spoke with says the blood test will increase accessibility. The only other ways to test for Alzheimer's are with a PET scan or a spinal fluid test, which simply can't be done in some remote areas of the state.
It's a pretty revolutionary change in the clinical world now, because what we can do is with a simple blood draw, we can identify the first protein of Alzheimer's disease and biologically confirm if someone has Alzheimer's.
Now, for now, the test will only be used at specialty clinics with people who are already cognitively impaired. The only treatments for Alzheimer's are drugs that delay but don't halt the disease's progression. And treatments for symptoms, researchers say the ultimate goal is for blood tests like this to be used in people before those cognitive symptoms appear, once proven preventative treatments exist.
Well, if you're headed to Lake Michigan anytime soon, you may want to keep an eye out for potentially dangerous military flares. The U.S. Coast Guard lost sight of 4 of these flares back on May 5th. It was after a search and rescue training exercise with the Air Force 20 miles off of Milwaukee's shore. One has been found at a Chicago beach. Now, each flare can produce red smoke and flame as hot as nearly 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
For people, you know, again, if they find them on the beach, we don't want you to pick it up, because if it is still armed and it were to activate, 2,900 degrees is pretty extreme. So we just want you to stay away from those. Contact 911.
The lieutenant says the flares are silver cylinders you see here, about 15 to 18 inches in length, and they can float in water. Well, there's still more ahead on News 3 Now at 6, including the reveal of the cast for Survivor's 50th season.
Plus, Packers Family Night returns for its 24th season. We'll tell you when you'll be able to get tickets.
And can we expect any more rain later this week? Alex returns with the answer in his complete forecast.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Well, believe it or not, CBS hit reality game show Survivor will be entering its 50th season. And earlier today, CBS Mornings exclusively revealed the cast for this upcoming season. In traditional Survivor style, longtime host Jeff Probst read off the names just like at Tribal Council. The first cast member announced Jenna. She's a face from season 1, and that one aired all the way back in May of 2000. Season 37 cast member and The White Lotus creator, writer, and director Mike White will also return.
We went from 200 on a list to 100 to 80 to 50, and then those last, 26, they were brutal cuts, and they still are. There's so many people we could have put out there, but there's only so many people you can put on the show.
And this cast will shoot in Fiji starting next month. The season will premiere in February.
Well, the Packers' first regular season game is about 100 days away, but fans of the Green and Gold will have another date to mark on their calendars. The team announcing today the Packers Family Night will be held on August 2nd. This will be the Packers' 24th year of Family Night. Fans who make it out to Lambeau Field will get to enjoy giveaways, game day music, and fireworks. And this year's Family Night format will be a full practice. Tickets for Family Night go on sale June 16th at 10 a.m. Tickets are mobile only, and there is a 10-ticket per purchase limit during the first day of sales. Those looking to park in the Lambeau Field lots also have to purchase a mobile parking pass in advance. Rain chances sticking around most of the day. Alex now with your complete forecast.
And additional rain chances I'm going to add here, especially as we go into Friday in this newscast. Let's get right into it. The rain out there right now on radar 3000 mostly has scooted up Highway 151 up towards Beaver Dam, north and east, I should say, Beaver Dam, up towards Fond du Lac and up towards Green Bay. Just a few showers on I-90 here, or at least some mist if you have any travel plans north and west of Madison. The windshield wipers might be going a little bit more. Otherwise, a little bit more in the way of intermittent shower activity now through the rest of the evening, carrying forth as we go on into Thursday, but then changes on Friday. This is rainfall estimates here, 1/10 of an inch, maybe 2/10 to 3/10 across parts of southern Wisconsin. Again, I said all of us would stand the chance of seeing perhaps up to 1/4 of an inch of water. Not a big heavy rain, but again, we'll take all those drops that we can get, as I always mention, with the dry conditions across the area. So going to Thursday afternoon, a couple pop-up showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm with the heat of the day, but these are the ones that pop up, you get a brief downpour, and then they're gone, and then by the time we get into the evening hours, they all go away. But we have some changes right now in the forecast after maybe just a tenth or so of an inch of water as we go on into Thursday. A cold front, a backdoor cold front, looks like it's going to maybe increase those chances for showers a little bit more as we go into Friday afternoon. I want to give you a glimpse of what that could look like. A backdoor cold front is one that comes in from the north and from the east instead of from the west or the northwest. As we head towards 3:34, 5 o'clock, it brings a little line of thunderstorms that stretches from Camp Douglas to Madison down towards Watertown, and then that scoots towards the south and towards the east. Southwest Wisconsin may miss out on that entirely. Can't rule out some gusty winds, maybe some small hail if that line does in fact form. We'll be keeping an eye on that potential for that backdoor cold front sneaking in Friday afternoon. We've got 50-degree temperatures for low temperatures tonight. That's about where we should be for this time of year. We have high temperatures in the upper 60s to right around 70 on Thursday. Provided we get a little sunshine, we'll all probably get up closer to that 70-degree mark, or maybe go over the 70-degree mark as well. 58 in Madison, 61 in Bosqueville, 61 in Lone Rock, and 59 right now in Janesville. Here in Dane County, there are no well, I take that back. We now have warmed up to 60 in Verona, but the rest of us are 58, 59 degrees. Remember, normal highs this time of year are right around 70. So this is a bit on the chilly side. Trying to think of something bright to say here. At least it's not very windy. So that's certainly some good news. So 50-degree temperatures, cloudy skies as we plan through the rest of the evening. Overnight lows again around 50 overall. And then we see our temperatures warm up. We're going to bump up that chance of rain on Friday to a 30% chance. Then as we head out into next week, get the ACs ready. If you want those ACs on, air conditioners on, temperatures in the 80s, lows in the 60s to near 70. It's going to feel a bit on the muggy side, and it looks like it will be a stormy period. And then that supports the Climate Prediction Center's outlook here, going out further into June. You see all that green around Madison and much of the country. That means that there's above normal chance for water. So those that are looking for the water, there's plenty of chances in the 10-day forecast and beyond.
I just love seeing the 80s.
80s, summer weather, not that 49 that we had last week.
We're all ready for that. Well, a dreary, rainy day out there, but the sun was shining on Badger hoops today, boy.
Yeah, normally we're talking about guys leaving all the time with the frowns for the Badger fans. Not today. Coming up in sports, John Blackwell has made a decision regarding his future for next season, while Greg Gard is probably smiling somewhere. That's next on News 3 Now. A little over 30 years ago, Michael Jordan sent a two-word fax to the Bulls to let them know his return to basketball. Well, today, Greg Gard received a similar message, probably in a text, though, from John Blackwell. The Badger guard will be back for his junior year at Wisconsin after going through the NBA draft process. Blackwell averaged nearly 16 points, 5 boards, and 2 assists per game last season. Well, the Packers kicked off their OTAs, and a couple guys were not in attendance. Jair Alexander, Elton Jenkins, but QB1 was, and Jordan Love is already locked in. He's coming off a quote-unquote down year where he led Green Bay to more wins and back to the playoffs in his second year as the starter. So what's in store for year 3 under center? Well, remember, Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl then.
Talked about that last year, and that's the same message this year. Is we're trying to win a Super Bowl, so I'm definitely trying to be that guy to be able to take this team and lead them to that. I think when you talk about Aaron and what he did in his third year, I never try and compare because it's so hard to do. There's so many different situations that go on, but at the end of the day, like you said, I've been here going on year 6, going on my third year playing, so everything's right there in front of us.
Brewers looking to break out the brooms for the first time this season. Jump to the 10th, tied at 5, and Caleb Durbin plays hero. Now, the sac fly isn't pretty, but it gets the job done. Durbin hits the ball deep enough, and Sal Frelick is going to slide in safely as the crew walk it off again. Brewers sweep the Red Sox 6-5, the final. And the celebrity foursome for this year's AmFam Championship is star-studded. Joining Andy North in the 9-hole charity exhibition, Chargers QB Justin Herbert, USA soccer legend Mia Hamm, and Pro Football Hall of Famer and former Packer Charles Woodson. North and Hamm will compete against Woodson and Herbert, with the winning team to have a $25,000 donation made in their names the American Family Children's
Justin
Hospital.
Herbert after that Rose Bowl touchdown. Oh, my goodness.
I don't think we can have
I
it.
guess for a good cause, we'll take it. Well, coming up on Industry Now at 10 tonight after the Equalizer, continuing coverage of the EPA's operation at Sabro-Sura Foods in Monticello as investigators look into allegations of environmental crimes.
And now final check on the forecast.
Showers, a couple more yet this evening, couple more on Thursday, and maybe a thunderstorm as we go into Friday. Showers tonight will be few and far between. I think what will be more widespread is some patchy fog developing later. Again, that pop-up shower chance on Thursday, a fresh look at future track for Friday's possible storms coming up at 10, and then we eye up a gorgeous weekend, temperatures up near 80 degrees, and then we get even warmer. Temperatures well into the 80s. Eric, I know you're liking this. And lows near 70 next week.
Alex, thank you. Thanks for watching. Coming up next, Entertainment Tonight.
And our next newscast is at 10. We'll see you then.